So a few years ago, 2021, I get an email from the good folks over at Architectural Digest asking if I was interested in photographing Jenna Lyons. And I'm like, you serious? Like, of course I'm interested in photographing Jenna Lyons. It's Jenna fucking Lyons. She was doing this collaboration with Roland Hill, which is amazing furniture and like fixture company based in Soho. She was doing a collaboration with them, and AD was doing a piece on her in regards to this collaboration. So I was fortunate enough to have a few photo shoots that led up to this. Like I didn't just jump into the Jenna Lyons shoot. You know, I had photographed Everett Taylor, who is the CEO of Kickstarter, but at the time he was the CMO. Oh, a little noisy outside. He was the CMO of Artsy at the time, and he's just an overall art lover. So can we ban motorcycles? AD did a feature on him, and I was able to go photograph him at his crib. That shoot came out dope, great shots. Ended up collaborating with him many more times, which is sort of connected to this story. But to move forward, had photographed him, came out real good. I also photographed Megumi Arai, who is a textile artist. That one came out really good. So I was basically on a streak of good shoots for AD. So I get the call, or should I say, I get the email to photograph Jenna Lyons, and so I'm like immediately doing research, looking at all the photographs that existed of her online to figure out how I wanted to portray her. Because that's what you want to do if you're a photographer. You want to go online, you want to look at all the pictures that exist of that person, and you want to figure out how to shoot that person. You want it to look like you shot it. So the job, like as far as the instructions, was like pretty straightforward. It was like go to her house, shoot some environmental portraits of her, get some shots of the pieces that that are part of the collaboration. I also got some shots of Jason Miller, who was her collaborator, who is the owner of Roland Hill. Roland Hill has a showroom in Soho, which will come into play later. Like, it's Jenna Lyons, I gotta be fly, so I'm rocking like a Bodie shirt and some jeans. I was definitely on my fly shit that day. Jenna's AC was out. The guy was there fixing it while we were there, but the AC was out, so it was kind of hot. I was sweating like crazy because I was working, obviously. But, we don't let that stop nothing. The one stipulation we had was we didn't want to use her couch because she had mad photos online already with her couch in it. And so we sort of said from the beginning, let's make sure we do something without the couch. So for that reason, we placed her like in a sideways area, and I also utilized her library area. I wouldn't have got this Jenna Lyons shoot had I not delivered on the previous shoot with Everett Taylor and the shoot with Megumi Arai. Everything worked out on those, so those things allowed me to photograph Jenna Lyons. And here's the thing: if you are a photographer and you aspire to shoot celebrities, quote unquote, which, some people want to shoot celebrities. I am more interested in shooting notable people. All right. Now, the difference between a notable person and a celebrity is a thin line, because a person who is just a notable figure can become a celebrity. Take, for instance, Jenna Lyons. When I photographed Jenna Lyons, she was big in fashion. She was like, she had been the creative director at J. Crew. She has a cult following, don't get me wrong, but this is pre-Real Housewives of New York. So we're talking about a different level of celebrity. Now Jenna Lyons is an A-list household name. You know, prior to that, she was more like a cult fashion figure. So I look at it like two different things. She went from being a notable person to a celebrity. Either way, if you strive to shoot celebrities, you want to start off with notable people, and you want to ace those assignments. Basically, like when I photograph somebody, I want to take the best photograph of that person. I might not be able to take the best photograph of that person. Maybe somebody else has that title, but I'm gonna try. I had already did well and sort of proved myself on previous shoots, so I was able to get this Jenna Lyons shoot. So that's one way of good work getting you more work. When the actual magazine came out, there was a reception, there was an event at Rolling Hill, which is the showroom that was collaborating with Jenna Lyons on the project. It was something that really helped me get noticed by people who might not have been familiar with my work. People who follow Jenna Lyons. She posted the editorial, so people were clicking on the editorial. Oh, okay, who's the photographer? Oh, it's this guy named Sean Presley. So I was able to get some jobs as a result of doing well on that shoot. Not to mention, a few months later, I get another call, or should I say, another email from the good folks over at Rolling Hill. So now at this point, Rolling Hill is getting ready for their, I think that was called the showroom turnover. All right. They were basically changing up changing up the furniture, changing up the fixtures and everything within their showroom. And they like to collaborate with artists, painters, photographers, ceramists, things like that. So I got a call from them. They asked me if I was up for hanging some work in their showroom. At this time, I had just wrapped up a collaboration with my man Nugent Smith, who's a great, great artist based in Jersey City. We've done numerous collaborations over the years as far as me photographing him in these performance art situations where he acts out a role. We've done 3 collaborations. The first one was the drum major. The second one was the missionary. And the third one is shade studies. We actually did a combination of the shade studies, a couple of the missionary pieces, and also a couple of pieces that I just also chose. It was just a great collaboration. So it's just like one prime example of how a couple jobs lead to a bigger job. That bigger job leads to multiple collaborations with other people who see that big job. It was a great experience. Then in another turn of events, I should say, I got an email from the Real Housewives of New York, and they were basically telling me that Jenna had did a scene in the showroom, the Rolling Hill showroom, when my work was up, my show was up. I had to sign a release, basically giving them permission to showcase the work in the show. And I was like, hell yeah. So signed that shit. Waited for the show. Unfortunately, they never showed it. So I didn't have the chance to be on The Real Housewives of New York, but I did sign the release. Damn pesky edits. But art is a paradox. You gotta make work in order to get work. All right. If you want to shoot celebrities, you gotta shoot celebrities. But if you don't shoot celebrities, you like, how am I gonna shoot celebrities if I don't know any celebrities and don't nobody assign me a celebrity, nobody gives me a chance to shoot a celebrity? Well, you gotta start off with notable people. Quick update. I'm actually going to be on a podcast tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Photo Banter podcast. And this is actually the second podcast in 2 months. And I never was a fan of podcasts. And then I started doing this YouTube channel and talking a little bit in front of the camera. And then, for some reason I got started getting, you know, invited to podcasts. I guess I'm in that space now. I guess I'm podcast adjacent. I'm talking to cameras. I'm saying my opinion. I'm putting things out to the world. So, yeah, I guess I'm somewhat in that sphere. Just like I mentioned in a few videos, like people with no self-awareness, they're probably like the best at podcasting and just talking in front of the camera because there's no self-consciousness there. There's just like straight a free flow of malarkey. What is this rivalry between real New Yorkers and people who weren't born and raised in New York? I get it. Y'all are native. I respect y'all. I salute y'all. I don't come in here like I'm not up in here trying to make New York anything other than what it is. Like, leave us alone. I pay for my rent every month. I'm not bothering nobody. All right, please, with the transplant propaganda, for real. Save it for the bad transplants, the gentrifiers, the colonizers. You know, the rest of us, leave us out of that. Summer's about to be over. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. I don't like that shit.
I don't like that shit.
I'm a summer person. Even though I'm a Scorpio, I'm at home during the summer. I need the sun. I don't like it when it's cold. I was talking to my man, and he was like, yo, you got to get into the city and show people New York because people who don't live in New York, they want to see that type of stuff. So let me know in the comments if y'all want to see more like day in the life New York stuff, or if you want to see more enlightenment, more informational stuff on like photography and art, things like that. Just, chime in. I'll take your critiques, whatever you guys got to say. Let me know. Yeah, I want to be able to give back, provide a little insight to you guys, because I got a little gray in the beard, so I've done a few things.